guys, it's Mary.
And Anna.
Anybody has to like,
Share,
subscribe,
and comment.
down below, y'all. Today we are going to be talking about...
We are bringing another teacher being abused story. Like, just like the killings, right?
Yeah.
Of black men killing black women and children.
Yeah.
Like, this also is becoming a normal,
Quite often.
like a story, like a recurring story. I don't want to see any other story about teachers being beaten up by students. There was a teacher I saw yesterday, and she has a YouTube channel, and she was just saying, and it was she names it "Why I Quit Teaching," and every time she comes on, her show is about all the things that they're doing and not doing. You know, how they don't even have the backing.
Yeah.
A lot of them don't have the backing of, the principal, the school board. Like, they're just being left out there to sink or swim. And then she also said too, she said the children are different. She said gone are those days when she was growing, and she's a fairly young woman. She doesn't look to be more than 35 to me when I looked at her.
Yeah.
And she was talking about when she was younger, you will not like lip to the teacher,
Yeah,
like you
don't
can
do
only
that.
speak back to them and stuff like that. And if you got into any kind of problems, it will be for something like that, like you talked back to a teacher or whatever. She said now it's like students will curse you out. They will try to fight you.
Crazy.
And she said that in a lot of the schools, she said now corporal punishment, they cannot implement any corporal punishment, which is back in the day. Okay, corporal punishment's meaning, some people might think, oh, that's someone beating you. She said corporal punishment just meaning, like you tell a student, you want to make them physically uncomfortable. So you might tell them to do push-ups or go run some laps.
Oh.
Or you'll tell them, okay, you have to write, I will not be rude to so-and-so 100 times. I remember that,
yeah.
I remember the writing on the board and stuff like that. She said now that's frowned upon. That, you're bringing down a child's self-esteem. Okay? So, and she's like, and the parents, when you go and you report to a parent, before you report to a parent, the parent is like, look at the child like, let me get your tail back home. Right? Now it's like the parents are cursing you as bad. And I remember, I have a few people who I know who are in the teaching world. I remember them telling me that the child curses them out, they report to the parent, and the parent curses them out. I've heard that from 2 teachers. I was like, what?
And my thing is, I don't know where this switch came from, because I'm like, what have teachers done to students that now is this drastic switch?
No, it's just the way we are like, I wonder if parents are raising children, and I don't like to get on the parents, because, kids are going to be kids, but at the same time, you just wonder, like, I don't expect any of my kids to go and be disrespectful to a teacher. Oh, no. Like, come on. So here's this teacher. This is from Charlotte, North Carolina. The school it's an alternative school called Turning Point Academy. This is the, last chance school, kind of. When you have been kicked out of a normal school setting, or you cannot be in a normal school setting for whatever reason, they send you here. You are in Turning Point Academy. And this substitute teacher, she was there, and she's a substitute teacher, so she's not there all the time. However, in her class, there is someone called a behavioral modification trainer. While she is teaching this behavioral modification trainer, they're there to make sure that the children's behavior are what it needs to be. So the teacher is there, the substitute teacher is there, a student is there, has a hoodie on. So she tells the student, hey, you need to take off the hoodie, but we need to follow these rules. And then this behavioral modification trainer comes up to the teacher and says, look, all right, you know this student walks around with a hoodie all the time. Everybody knows this. So she's like, so while this trainer comes up to whisper this in her ear, right? Or actually she didn't whisper, she said it loud enough for the students to hear. One girl charges the teacher, charges her, knocks her down to the ground. Another teenage girl goes behind the teacher, the one who she was telling to put the hoodie on, grabs her by the neck to try to strangle her, while the other one is beating her. So she's grabbing her by the neck, and then there's another one pulling her hair. The trainer stands there and does nothing. Just watches them.
I'm sorry, I will be
Abuse her.
I will be going to jail.
It was another teacher who heard her cry in another class that came and helped her out. Remember the one that we talked about before? The one where the student like pushed the phone, threw her phone down, slammed her foot in the door. Remember? Pulled her hair, her dreads, knocked her, and well, the teacher grabbed her and she fell to the floor. But remember, it wasn't the teacher right across, right, had to come to help.
Yeah.
The students didn't help. Of course, the students are
School
egging.
is not a safe
They're
place,
egging
man.
you on. Well, that's what the
It ain't
substitute.
safe.
Well,
Not even for the teacher. It
that's
ain't
what the
safe.
substitute teacher's daughter said. She came and picked up the mom. No EMS was called, even though she was hurt, visibly hurt with bruises and everything. She said she wasn't taken to the hospital. She said that her daughter had to come, and it was the daughter who took her to the hospital. And the daughter is like, you're not going back to school. You ain't going back there, mama. That's it. I'm done. Okay? She says that the school needs more support and training. And in fact, there's no principal in the school. It is actually an assistant principal who is just there for now. So probably that principal probably don't quit because it's too much. But yeah, they cannot keep a principal there. It's an assistant principal who's there for now.
They can't keep a principal in that school. Wow.
So they charged, I'm happy, the two teenagers have been charged with assault and disorderly conduct. And when that woman, you will see the video, you guys saw the video, how heartbroken she was. When she talks about the assault, how her voice breaks. Like, I don't even understand. I'm just like, what is going on? What in the world is going on?
Nothing's going on.
You guys are in this school. This is your last stop. Your last chance stop. This is it. Any normal school is not going to have you. And you're here. And you're messing your life up. Because you cannot control your emotions. You cannot be well behaved. You have to go fighting teachers. And I'm sorry, if you will fight a teacher, you will soon fight your parents.
Of course.
You will fight your mom.
Of course.
So I'm wondering if that's already going on in the home. And that is not being checked. And so that's why they think they can come down and fight a teacher. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because you don't just get up and come fight a teacher. Except you're used to fighting a grown up.
Yeah, that's the last thing I would be doing. Like, how am I going to fight my teacher for what?
Craziness. All because she told you to take off a hoodie. And that's the rule of the school. But even the trainers, and this is what this teacher that was talking on YouTube said. She said what is happening is the very badly behaved children are the ones that are getting the treats. So you're getting rewarded. So she says, okay, so instead of at the end of the class, you giving treats to the child that was well behaved, you are now making these pacts with the badly behaved. Okay, if you can just be good for these 2 hours that I have you, I will give you this pack of candies. If you can just be good for this 1 hour, I will give you 5 golden stickers. She's like, the children who are badly behaved, we are paying them to be well behaved. And the ones who do that
That's
regularly,
rewarding bad behavior.
of course. And so every day, you're going to have them to make a pact with this badly behaved child. And when you go complain, well, of course, and I'm sure the reason why they did not bother to call the EMS and all that, because they didn't want to do an incident report. So that takes a while to write it all up and all that. And then, nobody wants to go in front to say, yes, this is what happened. And the trainer, it's like, and this is not the first time I'm hearing. I had a very good friend of mine who worked in an alternative school. And yeah, she said the trainer was always like trying to get her to stand down. She'll correct the children. The trainer will intercept and be like, you don't need to say all that. This one, I know this one. This is how you gotta deal with this child. So the trainer is becoming their friends.
Well, that's probably how they get the kicks. That's probably how they get their kicks for the day.
And you, the teacher, you're left up there at an island by yourself. And when you go to the principal,
he's nowhere
they
to be
try
found.
to. The principal and the trainer, they're all in cahoots. So at least this is what happened with my friend. They were all like in cahoots with each other,
Yeah.
and trying to get this. And she started off as a substitute teacher, became a permanent teacher. But they were in cahoots with each other, to get on this woman's nerves. For no reason. In the end, she actually became very ill. She did. All the stress and all that stuff. And she had to retire. She had to retire. Like, she became very ill. It became really bad. And this was a teacher who was so dedicated. It wasn't her first go around. Like, she's been teaching for over 20 something years. Excellent teacher. Has been a principal at one point. Like a assistant principal at one point.
Yeah.
Has ran an alternative school herself at one point. So this was not just any kind of teacher. This was someone who was dedicated to teaching. And it's such a shame. When I looked at that and I saw she was no longer going to be a teacher, she's retiring, it just broke my heart. Because this is the teacher that you need for children.
Yeah.
But the kids are so badly behaved, they are running them out. And it's not just the kids running them out. It's the administration that's doing nothing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Doing nothing. Because nobody wants to have the rep that, your schools in this state are awful. So everybody's trying to make up stories. You know what I'm saying? So if you get a teacher who is all about the rules and calling you out on stuff that you have not been doing for decades. Because if she calls it out, what does that show? They'll look through it and say, wait a minute, but you all have been doing this for the past 10 years. So do you mean to tell me that this is how you're supposed to do? You guys have not been doing all this time?
Yeah.
So it's like everybody's in cahoots. It's like some kind of politics. And you're losing good teachers.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, who is it? Who is losing? It's the children.
Yeah.
The ones who actually want to be there.
Yeah, y'all. But it's Mary.
And Alma.
Leave much guys like,
share,
subscribe.
Comment down below. Tell me about. My kids were homeschooled. They weren't in the public school for a while, for a long time, before I started homeschooling. But has that been you all's? Do you agree? Do you agree with some of the things that we've said here, and some of the things the substitute teacher said? Are you seeing that in your school? When you talk to your children, are the kids just badly behaved? Are they just not caring? Or is it the teacher's fault? Or is it the parents' fault? Or is it a combination of all four? Let us know down below.